here it is, the newer NW81. It's a super unidirectional electret condenser microphone, whatever that means. Sorry guys, I'm not a microphone expert. This is super cheap, like dirt cheap compared to what other microphones from like Audio-Technica or Deity or Rode, all these big companies that make these super expensive microphones. And no doubt those are probably way better than this. But I picked this guy up because, well, it was like, I think $20 that on Amazon. I'll link it below. But here it is. It comes in this box. And when you open it up, there it is. Comes with like some of these little warranty cards, whatever, instructions and all that. Here's your little booklet telling you, hey, congratulations, you bought a super cheap microphone on Amazon from this company. There's a foam windscreen that got a little bit bent in the box, and comes with their little microphone holder. This one has the thread underneath so you can mount it to like a mic stand or some kind of microphone stand. Also comes with this adapter. This is kind of like a shorter cable if you're going to put the microphone on top of your camera. It's XLR, which is what the microphone is, to 3.5 millimeter, which is weird. It has the two rings on there, so you'd think it would be kind of like a stereo mic, but it actually isn't. It picks up mono, and then in editing, your editing program like Premiere, you would have to kind of go in there and make both channels either left or right. Also comes with this other microphone holder, which has the little cold shoe adapter underneath. So this is the one that you would use if you mount it on like the top of a camera or something. And then there's your long cable, XLR to 1/4 inch. And this one is actually mono, as you can see, there's only one ring on it. And here is the piece de resistance, the microphone itself. I gotta say, I mean, for the price, it's pretty, you know, it's a good looking microphone. You know, it's not like plastic or doesn't seem that cheap. There's the off, normal, and tele. Tele, I guess, is more, we'll test that out in a little bit. But normal is probably what you would want to use it on. It takes one battery, as you can see right there. And that's basically it. There's your XLR port on the bottom. It's a decent microphone, decent looking. Looks pretty professional, even though it's super cheap. Here I'm putting the windscreen on, which was a little tight. You don't want to put it in all the way. You want to leave a little gap at the end and the tip so it can really also kind of like protect the sound. A little extra protection there. But all in all, it looks decent. So right now I'm recording this video. I'm recording right now using the newer microphone. I actually have it on my camera stand, like right below the camera stand, and it's pointing at me. And actually what I'll do is I'm going to take my phone. So what I'll do is I'll actually record where it is right now. As you can see, like, you know, I'm recording right here. I'm not using that microphone. That's normally what I use for vlogging or whatnot. It's just like a Boya microphone. It's kind of like the Rode Video Micro. It's I'll link it below on Amazon. It's a decent microphone for vlogging. There's my camera. I'm actually using, this is a Nikon fisheye lens that doesn't work. So I'm using it in manual mode because it's giving me a nice bokeh because it's a 2.8 lens. You know, I have my little ring light situation. And then what I did was I mounted the microphone holder to this little stand here. And just kind of like angling it up at me, which that's a better job. So that's basically what I'm using right now. And it's on normal mode, and I'm not talking loud. I'm talking kind of fairly normal here, like, you know, normal volume, I guess. You know, my son is actually sleeping upstairs. I'm home alone today with him, so I'm trying not to be too loud, but I'm also not whispering. And you tell me, how does that sound? So I'm going to switch it to that tele mode, which I'm not too familiar with what that is. I think it just kind of changes the direction of how the microphone is picking up. So I'm going to switch to that and see how that sounds. Okay, so now I've switched to that tele mode. I keep saying tele because I'm Spanish, so it's tele. I don't know what exactly how you say it. Tele, whatever. But that's what it's switched to. And I don't know if that is dramatically different, how it's picking up. I don't know if it's picking up any ambient sound. It's pretty quiet here right now. I have my dishwasher running in the kitchen all the way down there. So I don't know if it's picking that up, but I don't know. I'm going to leave it on normal because I think for the most part, normal is where you want to have it on. But this is what that sounds like in tele mode. And now we're back in normal mode. This is normal mode once again. So all in all, I think for some interview situations, or for actually doing this like headshot that I'm doing right now, I think I'm going to use it. It allows me to have the microphone a little bit closer, maybe 6 to 7 inches closer to me, as opposed to just using the microphone on top of the camera. So I'm hoping that it is able to isolate more of me speaking and less the surrounding areas, or the echo of the room or whatever. But I mean, for 20 bucks, I think on Amazon, you can't go wrong. I'll link it below so you can check it out for yourself. I think it's a good, even if you're going big budget, big production, big professional production, having something like this in your bag as a backup, maybe, or as like a second microphone, if you're doing interviews and you want to make sure in case one microphone fails, you have a backup, and at least it's a decent sounding backup. I mean, you know, you can't go wrong for the price. And with everything that it brings, I mean, you really, really can't go wrong. That's it. This is the newer microphone, the NW81, I believe. And I mean, you can't go wrong with something like this. You know, is it the best microphone in the world? No. Is it going to give you the best sound quality ever? No. Is it going to break the bank? No. And that's why I picked it up, and that's why I recommend it. So I'm always looking for ways to do things on the cheap. I'm literally shooting this video on a Canon SL2, which is probably the cheapest DSLR from Canon that you can get that has the autofocus. Ironically, though, I'm not using the autofocus because I'm using a Sigma, an old Sigma 15mm fisheye lens that's for Nikon, and I have it on an adapter ring and no autofocus because this lens was actually damaged in Hurricane Sandy. It was in a camera bag that got dunked in water in Hurricane Sandy, and it was dead. I was able to salvage it, and it works. It's locked at 2.8, so I can't change the f-stop. But the focus ring still works, and I'm able to focus. So I actually manually focused. The good thing is that the Canon SL2 has this nice little screen right here that I'm looking at, and I'm able to kind of do focus. I'm able to zoom in, actually. Before I started the video, you tap on the screen. There's a magnifying glass, so I was able to digitally zoom in on my face, on my eye, you know, focus, and then zoom back out and start recording. So again, I just did it because I'm just playing around with this lens. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but anyway, all that to say is that I like doing things on the cheap. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, and you know, we always try to do things on a budget. And you know what? Just for kicks, I'm gonna show you. There's a little table right next to me, and I actually have this light sitting on the table next to me, and it's just kind of, you see that? It's just giving me a little bit of pop in this color. I'll actually link this below as well. This is a really useful light. I mean, it blinks, you can turn it off. It gives you kind of like a light, very white light. Tap it again. That's really white. Tap it again. That's more tungsten, I guess, if you want to call it that, or more orangey. You know, I leave it there. I have it there, and actually you press and hold, and you can dim it down. Hold it again, and it goes all the way up. So this little guy is also, I mean, you could pick up a couple of these too, and just, you know, I could toss them in the background and kind of create a little bit of ambiance. So anyway, I'm looking at the screen, I'm not looking at you. I'm sorry, that's so rude. I'll link everything below so you can see what I'm using right now. That's it. Please like and subscribe. Comment below if this was useful. What kind of budget setup are you using? I'd love to know. Hit me up on Instagram at @mauricemercado. I'll link that below as well. And I'd love to see pictures of your setup. I'll post a picture of this setup as well, along with the link to this video over on Instagram as well. So anyway, I'm talking too much. I'll see you next time in the next video. This thing right here, I mean, it's all manual, guys. This is all manual. Look, focusing, out of focus, focus. I mean, this is, you know, this is kind of like inspired by Cody. I'll link him below as well because he's awesome. Cody, look, I'm using a manual lens. I know you just switched to autofocus stuff with the EOS R, but this is manual. I'm doing manual right now. What do you think about that? Manual. Anyway, that's enough for now. I gotta go.